I'm not sure if I believe this 100%, but considering how massive of a human Sam Huff is, I might believe it. They said that this home run traveled 511 feet. If they call up Sam Huff and they have Joey Gallo in the same lineup, I mean, that duo might be the most powerful in all of baseball. Okay, actually, now that I think about it, maybe the second most powerful duo. Yeah. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Today is a special recap because it is July 4th. I actually have my Sandlot shirt on the back of my seat, so it is going to be a lot of fun. We have a ton to talk about, so make sure you guys watch all the way until the end because Aaron Judge was calling out his teammates. We have a Little League home run. This was an inside the park home run for Eric Haas of the Detroit Tigers. Unfortunately, though, we do have to start the video off with some negative news. Kyle Schwarber, the man who was on a mission in the month of June, he had 16 or 17 home runs. Unfortunately, I think it was on the final day of June or the first day of July, he tore something in his hamstring and he's going to be out for quite some time, says the manager of the Nationals. This is super upsetting. Now, because we talked about the Nationals, let's go ahead and talk about the Dodgers game yesterday because they faced off against the Nationals. You have two sacrifice flies making it 2-0 for Los Angeles, and then Gavin Lux comes in big time with an RBI double to make it 3-0, but then Yango says, hey, I am not trying to lose this game. He hits a 3-run home run. Clayton Kershaw did not have the best day at the office, but AJ Pollock comes in clutch with an RBI infield single, and the bullpen is able to hold it down as Chris Taylor drives in an insurance run for Kenley Jansen. He's given a 2-run lead, and he gets save number 21 already on the season. He was pumping 95, 96 miles an hour yesterday. I think that prime Kenley Jansen and prime Craig Kimbrell are back in business. So before we talk about the Rangers game, because I know the intro was a Rangers prospect, I want to go ahead and talk about the walk-off from yesterday. Now, before I talk about that, make sure that you guys are using code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you're going to any last-minute 4th of July games or any games in the next few days. Save yourself 20 bucks off. The A's and the Red Sox, they played a pretty fun game yesterday. It was started off by Rafael Devers, not with the stick. He started the momentum with his glove. He showed off the leather. This was a pretty cool play over at third base. Then you have Kike Hernandez making it 4-2, but then Seth Brown and Elvis Andrus, they tied up at 4 apiece. This was a wild game, back and forth, back and forth. JD Martinez saved the game momentarily. It would have been a walk-off sacrifice fly, but he has a cannon. A lot of people don't remember that. I scored 2 in the 12th, and the A's, they put up 3 in the final inning as Tony Kemp pimped the absolute you-know-what out of this sacrifice fly. And the A's, they're trying to compete with the Astros, but yeah, the Astros were playing Cleveland, so they're not going to lose. So the A's couldn't gain any ground. Let's talk about the Rangers game. We have John Hicks going off, and then Eli White, who is an outfielder who just got called up a few weeks ago. He has 4 home runs. He has top 99 sprint speed, and he has a really good jump in the outfield. So if he can consistently hit home runs, he is going to be a sneaky good player for the Texas Rangers if he can find his swing. You have John Hicks with another one in the 4th inning, and then Adolis Garcia drives in 2 RBIs later on in the game, and Jordan Lyles was fantastic. Only 2 earned runs on 6 strikeouts in 6 innings, and the Rangers all of a sudden are now 7-3 in their last 10 games. Manny Machado kickstarted the offense yesterday versus the Phillies with a 2-run well, actually, I shouldn't say moonshot because it just got over the fence, but he now has 29 home runs and a 140 OPS plus over his last 137 games. That is really good. Bryce Harper hits another home run, and as you can see, no one was on base. Every single home run, all 14 of the home runs that he's hit this year have been solo home runs. I think he only has 26 RBIs, but he has a 152 combined OPS plus over his last 118 games. Zach Eflin, he was able to limit the damage to 2 earned runs, and then Rhys Hoskins and Harper combined to drive in all 4 runs for Philly yesterday, and then Didi Gregorius, his web gem in the 8th inning, kind of seals the deal as the Phillies did not blow a save for once. Mike Yastrzemski honestly is having a better start to his career than his Hall of Fame grandfather. All this guy does is rake. Brandon Crawford, he drives in yet another RBI on this triple, and then Donovan Solano makes it 4-0. The Diamondbacks, they do storm back to tie it up, and eventually they do take the lead, but then Austin Slater, who had not hit a home run in quite some time, he saved all of his energy, all of his power for this one swing. A huge 2-run home run gives the Giants a lead, and Jake McGee picks up his 16th save of the season. All right, so we already hinted at it, the Astros versus Cleveland. I mean, again, Cleveland has been depleted, so let's just get this over with. Correa, he starts off the scoring with an RBI single, and then he hits a home run later on in the game. He has 16 home runs and a 154 OPS plus to go along with a 4.3 WAR. He's going to be a free agent after 2021, so he is going to get absolutely paid. You have Abraham Toro hitting a solo home run, and then Presley, he halts any comeback attempt for Cleveland. He picks up save number 14 as Cleveland is on a 5-game losing streak. Woohoo! The Tigers versus the White Sox, two teams that do not really like each other. This was a fun game to watch because Eric Haas hit a 3-run inside the park home run as Billy Hamilton dove, but it got past him. And essentially, Comerica Park is polo grounds. If a ball gets past you, it is going to be an inside the park home run. Jonathan Scope drives in 2 RBIs, and then Jamir Candelario drives in a Akil Baddoo. Zach Shore, I do want to mention, he drives in an RBI on this bases loaded walk, so it's 7-5. And then Haas does it again, only this one leaves the yard, another 3-run home run, and Scope comes back for his 16th bomb of the year. And I just want to mention that there was a momentous occasion yesterday. Jake Berger went 0 for 4, so not that great, and Jace Fry pitched yesterday. He gave up 3 earned runs. But that was the number 2 combo. You have Berger and Fry on the same team playing on the same day. Easily one of the greatest moments in baseball history. Berger and Fry, I love it. And a few days ago, I said that the White Sox should trade for Paul Fry of the Orioles. They already had a dude with the last name of Fry. All right, let's talk about the Yankees because a few days ago, Aaron Judge was not happy with the way that his teammates were playing. So he called a players-only meeting, and apparently he was the only one that was listening. We'll go ahead and talk about that right now because they got smacked in the mouth by the Mets. It was a pitcher's duel going into the 5th inning, but then the Mets, they give Taijuan Walker a 3-run lead on 2 singles and a wild pitch. Then Francisco Lindor, Dominic Smith, and Kevin Pillar, they embarrassed Justin Wilson. The W was taken out of his name. It was Justin Wilson. As Aaron Judge hits a home run again, he was the only person to listen. Maybe Gio Urshela, he drives in 2 RBIs, but the Yankees looked pathetic yesterday. Their offseason signings have not been all that great, whereas the Mets with Kevin Pillar and Taijuan Walker, who has a 2.44 ERA and a 3.05 FIP, yeah, that's pretty good. I can't believe I'm saying this, but George Springer is sandwiched between 2 All-Stars. That Blue Jays lineup does not make sense. Ross Stripling only allows 1 earned run, so he has a combined 3.1 ERA in his last 5 starts. He has been really good. The Jays get the lead in the 6th on an error, and then Biggio and Santiago Espinal, they put the game out of reach. That was Santiago's first career home run. Tampa Bay has now lost 12 of their last 16 games. You know who's not very used to losing as of late? The Milwaukee Brewers win their 11th game in a row yesterday as Avisail Garcia drives in 2 RBIs on a double, and then a guy we've talked about almost every single day the last week, Jace Peterson, he comes in clutch yet again as Omar Narvaez and Garcia, they make it 5 runs before the 2nd inning was over. Eric Lauer was fantastic again, almost going 7 innings, only allowing 1 earned run. The Brewers eventually score 11, 1 for every single game that they've won in a row, and Omar Narvaez had 5 hits yesterday. He's a catcher. You're not supposed to do that. Chris Bryant went yard yesterday after Ortega. I don't even know how he scored because ESPN simply said Ortega scored, but KB goes yard off Tyler Mahle, who only gave up 1 earned run in 5 innings. You have Votto and Naquin hitting home runs to tie it up, and then a Votto double play. This saved a potential rally for the Chicago Cubs, and then Eugenio Suarez on this RBI. He drives in the game-winning run, and the Cubs have now lost 8 games in a row. They're 0-8 ever since they threw that combined no-hitter. Yeah, it's not a good time to be a Cubs fan, not at all. Do you guys like jazz? No, I'm not talking about the music genre. I'm talking about Jazz Chisholm because I do. He drives in an RBI on this single, and then he scores on a single from Garrett Cooper as Sandy Alcantara. Sandy was dandy yesterday. Only 1 earned run allowed yesterday. He lowers his ERA to 2.96 on the season. We have Miguel Rojas making a web gem in the 8th, and then after that, a double play saves, just like the last game that we talked about. A double play saves any rally from happening as Yimi Garcia collects save number 13 on the season. He's having a really good season. Royals versus the Twins. You have Hunter Dozier driving in 2 RBIs to tie up the ball game, and then Olivares hits a 2-run home run. Kind of sounds like a name out of Harry Potter. I think that it's like Ollivanders or something like that. And I just want to mention that Olivares hit that 2-run home run, and then he was sent down today. I think he's been called up and sent down 5 different times already. They need to stop doing that. You have Salvi driving in an RBI on this double, and he leads catchers in practically everything. The baseball gods were not on the sides of the Rockies, at least for the first few innings of yesterday's game against the Cardinals. A perfect bounce made sure that Ryan McMahon did not score after an error. But both starting pitchers, aside from that, were pretty good. They combined for almost 12 scoreless innings, and then Trevor Story does what he does best. He hits a 3-run moonshot, and I just want to ask you guys, do you think that he's going to be traded because he's participating in the home run derby, which is in Coors Field, his home ballpark? Would they just trade him after that? Who knows? I don't even know when the trade deadline is. And then last but not least, Shohei Ohtani and the Angels beat the Orioles Orioles 4-1 yesterday. They scored 2 in the first few innings without a single ball leaving the infield, and then Lagares drives in an RBI in the second. The Gooses lose. Phil Gosselin makes it 4-1, and Ohtani was walked 3 separate times. 2 of them were intentional walks. I mean, he is going to get the Barry Bonds treatment, and Alex Cobb was terrific. 7 2/3 innings, only allowing 1 earned run on 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. And Iggy Raisel Iglesias picks up save number 16. The Angels are 23-19 ever since Mike Trout went down. So like my good friend Foolish Baseball said, is this kind of a successful team? They wanted to build a good ball club without Mike Trout, and they're 4 games above 500 without him. Is that a win? All right, everyone. Well, that does it for today's MLB recap. I hope that you guys stay safe today, have a lot of fun, play MLB The Show all day long, watch baseball all day long, and eat lots of food with family and friends. And again, stay safe. Use code Fuzzy if you're going to any last-minute baseball games, Major League or Minor League. And thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy this day in MLB history.
He sets the kick and the pitch. He struck him out. Brigetti has pitched a no-hitter. Dave Brigetti has pitched a no-hitter. He strikes out Boggs for the final out of the ball game.